hot rod assist. Over 65,000 race fans here at Tampa Stadium in Tampa, Florida for the continuation of the U.S. Hot Rod Association Mud Racing and Monster Truck National Championship Series. I'm Bret, Kepner, and along with Jerry Devine, we'll be bringing you the action from Jerry, what is annually one of the greatest events.
The Superbowl of Motorsports, the 16 of the top monster trucks and the fastest mud races you're going to find anywhere.
I'll tell you, our camera crews are just about ready to get things going. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us for the beginning of the action here at Tampa Stadium at what is one of the best events of the U.S. Hot Rod Association year. We're back at the Superbowl of Motorsports, brought to you in part by Kicker, high-performance automotive speaker systems by Stillwater Design. Jerry Devine, we've already run monster truck qualifying in the number 16 spot, the Nebraska-based Big Red truck. 15th is a brand-new Ford called Rocky Mountain Thunder.
In the number 14 spot, Alan Pizzo with the Predator. Number 13, Warthog, driven by Trevor Fornes. And the number 12 position went to the Bad News, Norman Myers.
In the number 11 spot, Kevin Dabney in the Southern Hustler, big-time favorite down here in Florida. This is his home state, as a matter of fact. He'll be a crowd favorite. And in the number 10 spot, another Florida Ford, this one the Thumper entry, driven by Dwayne Daggett.
Number 9 went to Evil Force, Ray Perkowski, while number 8, No Problem, John Moore. The number 7 position went to High Voltage, driven by Jeff Baker.
The number 6 position, indeed one of the strongest trucks we've seen so far this year, the incredible barefoot entry of Warren Davis from the state of Montana. While the number 5 position went to probably the strongest rookie of the 1990 season, the hot stuff Jeep of Wisconsin's Todd Blazer.
John Payant, driving Bigfoot, took the number 4 position, and in number 3, Jim Reese with the Eliminator.
2 previous winners we've seen so far this year, and the first winner of the year. Rob Morris in the four-wheel crazy was number 2, but the number 1 qualifier was, of course, Jack Willman Jr. in the incredible Taurus Chevrolet, which suffered severe front-end damage during qualifying, Jerry, and it'll be a miracle if they can get this thing on the line for the first round of competition.
Well, here come the first pair of monster trucks right now. Coming up first will be Evil Force, driven by Ray Perkowski from St. Louis with a 22,000-pound tow truck. This used to be called Big Toad, now called Evil Force. And I'm not sure if our number 1 qualifier is going to be able to make it, Bret.
He's waiting. I'll tell you, Perkowski showing his sportsmanship, but there they are. Jack Willman has made it back to the starting line. Jerry, that crew has thrashed for 3 hours to repair the front-end damage they suffered after qualifying on the pole. What a job.
Well, this first round ought to be very exciting just to see Taurus to see if they can hold that together. Jack Woolman take it easily.
Looking at the slow motion replay, you can see Ray Perkowski, after waiting patiently on the line for that machine to show up. 22,000 pounds of Ford, 5 feet in the air. But even at this point, Jerry, on the second ramp, he was already a half track behind the incredible Taurus machine.
Jack Woolman really has got that machine dialed in tonight.
Tell you, like I said, Perkowski should be commended for his sportsmanship and waiting for the Taurus team. But here you see the pole qualifier head on. Simply an amazing amount of power in this supercharged Chevy. And Willman makes it over the cars. Makes it look effortless, Jerry.
Parts flying off of those junk cars. Not too much air. Did you notice that?
It's true, and of course, in a serious monster truck competition like this, where everything's on the line, the objective is to keep it as close to the ground as possible. You'll just waste time in the air.
All right, our next pair coming up. It's going to be Hot Stuff, driven by Todd Blazer. He's ready to go in his lane, and here's his competition, the Warthog, driven by Trevor Fornes. Both machines about ready to go. They are poised for action. Here we go now. Warthog wins!
A truly incredibly close battle. Trevor Fornes in his first ever national event in the U.S. Hot Rod Association Trail with the Warthog won that one by inches. I'll tell you what, Jerry, if the finish line had not been 4 cars from the end of that line, he would have lost because Todd Blazer passed him by the end of the cars, but the finish line is located 4 cars from the end of the line.
That's true. The hot stuff was really coming on at that finish line.
Amazing run. Trevor Fornes with a major upset. Got to remember, the driver of this bright red Jeep from Wisconsin is probably the hottest rookie of the 1990 season so far. Look at the bounce he took and kept in the throttle to hit the second set of cars. At this point, he had to be looking over because right there, while he was in the air, that was the finish line. He loses it by inches. Great race.
Next pair of monster trucks coming up to the line right now, getting ready to go. It'll be the Southern Hustler, driven by Kevin Dabney. And his competition will be the Eliminator, driven by Jim Reese. Both machines ready to go.
Another incredible come-from-behind win. What a job by Reese. You remember the Ecology Eliminator won one of our ESPN national events in the U.S. Auto Association Trail earlier this year. This guy can drive coming from behind after a big hole shot by Dabney, then way up in the air at the finish line to win it. I'll tell you what, that had to be close for both drivers. They had to be wondering who won that one.
Jim Reese, definitely a driver to watch tonight.
You see Kevin Dabney leaving the starting line after getting a great hole shot, the rear-engined truck. It's the only one in competition to the 16-car monster truck field. Right there, definitely getting sideways and a rough landing. Dabney, the home state hero, fails to overcome the big Chevy.
You can feel the electricity here at Tampa Stadium. These 65,000 people watch on and waiting for the continuation of the first round of Monster Trucks. We'll be back with the first round of Monster Trucks, but first this. Welcome back to the U.S. Hot Rod Association Mud and Monster Racing Championships in Tampa Stadium.
Well, Jerry, we've already seen 3 heats in the first round of the Monster Trucks, but we still have Bigfoot, Barefoot, Four-Wheel Crazy to go, and the Wild Man of U.S. Auto Association Monster Truck Racing in the near lane in the next match.
Yes, the hot ones are coming up. Next pair ready to go. In this lane, we have Rocky Mountain Thunder, driven by Nick Jackson.
Relatively new truck out of Colorado, but he's up against a superstar, if there ever was one, on the U.S. Auto Association trail, Jerry.
You better believe it. It is high voltage.
Jeff Faintner, the man who will drive through anything, is pulling up in the mirror lane with his incredible Jeep. He's as wild as they come.
Jeff Faintner about ready to go. Let's watch this one. This ought to be a good race. High voltage takes the win.
Tell you, Nick Jackson, a wild ride down there in the corner in the shutdown area. I can't believe Jackson's heavyweight Ford made it such a close race against Baintner. Jackson drove like he's never driven before. This is his first full year on the National Event Tour, sideways in the air, landing, trying to get on the brakes, bouncing all over the place, people running for their lives. Unbelievable run. He finally gets it stopped right up against the retaining wall, everything under control. But in the other lane, watch this launch, taking the front wheels of this short wheelbase, hard-to-control Jeep. Washington veteran Jeff Faintner just drives like there's no tomorrow, as always. Watch this second hit. Under power, bouncing. The machine keeps it nice and even above the cars. A great, great win by a matter of inches. Every run we've seen, Jerry, is this close.
It has really been a close night of competition, and boy, you can imagine what those finals are going to be. All right, our next pair are coming to the starting line right now. It'll be No Problem, driven by John Moore. Going against him will be Big Red, driven by Gary Schramm. Let's watch him now as they ease toward that starting line and getting ready to go. Big Red, he almost went over.
I'll tell you what, that thing was in the air. And I don't think anybody expected this match to be as much of a blowout as it was. Look at Schramm, he's happy. I'll tell you, Tennessee driver John Moore came off the starting line well, but ran out of steam somewhere on the top of the first set of cars. There you see it got very little air. There was really no hope for it at that point. Schramm is driving a brand new truck in the other lane that nobody had any idea was as strong as it was. John Moore finally got back under power over the second set of cars, but by then it was way too late. You can see Schramm in the other lane already stopped. I'll tell you what, the Big Red Machine from the state of Nebraska was mighty impressive. Like I said, a brand new ride, a relatively unknown driver on the Camel Series. But that first set of cars, that launch, showed that he had the power. When he bounced it and put the wheels up in the air again, then it really sailed. And the landing, Jerry, like you pointed out, was as wild as they come.
Right on that left front wheel, he had all three wheels off the ground there for a while. Well, coming up next, it's going to be Bad News, driven by Norman Meyer.
This is another brand new driver and a brand new truck. We had a lot of new drivers decide to hit the U.S. Hobbit Association Camel National Event Trail starting here, but look who he's up against.
Bigfoot, driven tonight by John Pyatt. John is ready to go, going against Bad News. Bad News got his hands full. Here we go. And John Pyatt takes the win pretty easily.
You have to remember, Pyatt had a lot to prove here tonight. He's leading the World Championship points race. This brand new driver trying to get up on the first set of cars had more than his fair share of problems. The Oklahoma City pilot tried to get back into the throttle. Norman Myers hits the second set of cars in much better fashion. But, of course, when you're running against the Big Blue Ford from St. Louis, there's more pressure on you than in any other race. He makes the turn with the alcohol flame coming out of the exhaust headers through the hood there. What a shot. Look at that photo. Unbelievable. In any case, John Pyatt, the Bigfoot driver who leads the U.S. Hobbit Association Camel World Championship, was picture perfect. But like I said, he's got a lot to prove here tonight because he qualified only fourth behind three drivers who have already won national events this year. Look at that leap over the last set of cars. That's why Bigfoot is Bigfoot, Jerry.
Well, the Predator coming up next, driven by Alan Pizzo. And going against him will be Warren Davis driving Barefoot. Barefoot, a Chevrolet, and the Chevrolet fans have a real tough machine here that they can cheer about tonight.
We saw the incredible Barefoot Chevy of Warren Davis score a runner-up at one of our first events on ESPN this year in Seattle, Washington. We saw Alan Pizzo do a tremendous job in San Diego.
Let's watch this one. This ought to be a good matchup. Barefoot takes the win.
Man, did you see Pizzo and the Predator moving in on Barefoot, though, down at the finish line. Had Alan Pizzo not had a stumble at the start, he would have probably driven around this machine. Warren Davis, great starting line launch, never a bobble throughout the entire 250-foot course. Here you see him wheels up, coming down nicely, real nicely in the heavyweight Chevrolet. But boy, Pizzo in the other lane really made a charge at the end to make it close. About a half a truck length, in fact, at the finish line. Let's see if we can spot where Predator had the problem. Right there, the nose comes down immediately right after hitting the first set of cars. That's probably what hurt him, and that may have been a driver decision to try and keep it low, and he went too low. Look at the sparks as he hurt the front drivetrain. Obvious problems, bouncing all over the place in the shutdown area. Pizzo knows, though, that he gave it everything he had.